PLUG stock, Plug Power Inc. lost about 6% in the last trading session, the session of the 11th of July 2022. In this pre-market session of the 12th of July, it's down 1.35%. And as of Thursday the 7th, Shell announced that it's going to build the largest renewable hydrogen plant in Europe, somewhere in the Netherlands, and Plug Power stock rose in that regard. And we were also reminded by CNBC, that's something we already know, that hydrogen has a diverse range of applications and can be deployed in a wide range of industries. It can be produced in a number of ways. One method includes using electrolysis with an electric current splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, should the electricity be used in the splitting process originate from renewable sources, industry experts refer to the resultant product as green or renewable hydrogen. For Plug stock, the process has significant implications for the underlying business, as green hydrogen is its core specialty. So yes, that was the news, and the stock has been rallying for some time now, and coming back to what the technical analysis is of what has happened. The price has printed a double bottom. You can see that here. If you can't see that, you can see that double bottom sometime in early to mid May, and also again sometime in mid June. So if you can't see clearly here, this is what it is. This double bottom. This is early as of the 11th of May 2022, and then again it happened again early to mid the 13th, and then early to mid June, so 13th to 16th, it printed the same price, double bottom. So we're not going to regard, well, yes, we're not going to disregard these two very close bottoms as of the 13th and the 16th of June, because the 16th to some extent validates the 13th, or rather the theory that it helps to validate the theory that the price seems to have reached a bottom after failing to break through a support level and ultimately rising higher in a sign of reversal to a new uptrend. Yes, that seems to have been the case. Let's see, after those two double bottoms, it crossed over all of its moving averages. It has since crossed over the 10 and 20-day moving averages and got to support from its 10-day moving average, and now above its 50-day moving average. So we're going to come back to that 50-day moving average and what implication it means for Plug Power stock, and indeed, for most stocks, when that happens, it is a bullish signal. So the double bottom pattern forms during a downtrend as the price reaches two distinct lows at roughly the same level. Yes, and we saw that. And if you don't want to, if you don't want to take the lows of May and the lows of June, but in June there were two lows that were absolutely of the same price. So volume reflects a weakening of the downtrend, of the downward pressure tending to diminish as the pattern forms, with some pickup at each low, less on the second low. Finally, the price breaks upwards above the highest high to confirm the bullish signal. And yes, let's go back and see whether it has broken through the highest high. You can see that, yes, it has broken through the highest high, at least of late, since the last month. Yes, it has broken through the highest high, at least since last 1 month, is was as of the 27th of May. So that has happened as of the 8th of Friday, the 8th of July. Yes, 8th of July, it was at 19.77. So it has broken through the highest high. At least the highest high, that is at least the high that it was printing on an upward. It printed on an upward push. Yes, so that seems to have been the case. But we also know that anytime, okay, look at this now. It has this crossover of the 50-day moving average was as the case was when the 50-day moving average was declining. In a lot of cases, when that happens with PLUG stock, and you can see that crossed over when the 50-day moving average was declining, it tends to sustain that. This wasn't that. So it wasn't that. It's not that sustaining. It wasn't so. It wasn't. In this case, it wasn't so well sustained. But in this case, as of early October. It was sustained. All the rally was sustained for a couple of more than a month, and then again we have that again crossing over when it was declining sometime again in early March, and then we have that they crossed over thrice. The third time it was a sustained one. Let's see, it was sustained, crossed over, and that was in March, and that rally remained so for the rest of the month. That was, it crossed over the third time middle of March, and it remained there till it remained above, if even the 50-day moving average, sorry, 200-day moving average, the underlying trend, or rather what underpins, or rather what points to what the underlying trend was. It rose above that as well, and remained there till the beginning of March. So that was close to 2 weeks, or 2 weeks, 2 calendar weeks. Would that be the case this time around? It has crossed over this 50-day moving average that is declining at the moment, and in the last trading session it cooled off at 18.41. It's down a further 1.35%, still above all those moving averages. And would that be the case this time around? Because usually when it crosses over, a decline in 200-day moving average, there's a good chance it's crossing over, because you can see that. See what that simply means. It crosses over a decline 250-day moving average. It means the stock itself is also possibly bearish as well, coming from lows and rising over. That's usually a bullish signal. And would that be the case? Will that be the case? In the cases where it crosses over a rising 50-day moving average, it doesn't sustain that. It doesn't sustain it. We don't have many cases of it crossing over. We just have one case of it crossing over a rising 50-day moving average, and it went on further to decline, and also bringing down the 50-day moving average. So this could be something. This could be some positive, and also that news that came out, it may have been priced into the stock, but what is driving the stock is not just that news. It is the technicals that is also driving the stock. And you can see down here we also has a short interest of 12.5%. There is some skepticism towards the stock, and this is the sort of things you want to see: skepticism towards a stock. It's towards a stock that's doing its best to make money. Company that is doing its best in the fundamental way, in the fundamental space to make money, survive, and all that stuff. And skepticism towards its technology and all that stuff. So that's because that's what the short interest is all about. So you want to see these sort of things, and that is what we're seeing with plug power. So technically, it's spotting what looks like a short-term bullish push. Down here we can see that it's saying that the readout is saying that it appears to be consolidating, within a longer term downtrend. The average directional index, or ADX, is below 20, indicating that shares have traded sideways recently. So, but it's also outperforming the S&P 500. So, given all of that, let's see whether we can determine a price target for PLUG stock. So, let's use this 18.27 and 16.34. 18.27, 16.34. You have 1.93, multiply that by 2.618, you have 5.05. You add that to the current price of 18 point, let's get the current price right now. It's 18.22. You have 23.27. okay, so let's see, we have some various targets here. Let's see, 18.22. there are various targets that were mentioned here on using this search, using Charles Schwab here, or rather Street Smart Edge. Okay, It has resistance at 25.84. okay, they have so that's quite close to where we are. Is it in a, let's get a short term. Let's see whether we can get resistance at 28.25. Intermediate, let's see, 25.86. Long term, 25.86 as well. So this is the closest, 25.86. Our target is 23.27, not too far from their own target as well. So see what you make of PLUG stock, and thank you very much for watching this video.